The story you've heard is truly powerful and can be life-changing for some people. Bob Proctor emphasizes that success is within reach, regardless of external circumstances. At the end of the video, if you firmly believe that you belong to that group of successful individuals, then embrace the confidence and internalize the message. However, if you doubt it, don't hesitate to discard the video. It's not meant for you. Starting today, you can create the success you desire. The key lies in understanding the concept of paradigms. Paradigms are our mental models, perspectives, and thought patterns. Proctor asserts that 95% of success comes from mindset paradigm, while the remaining 5% involves strategies. Without the right mindset, no strategy will lead to success. He encourages us to change our paradigms, which ultimately shape our lives. Paradigm shifts are essential for transformation. So let's recognize this truth and immerse ourselves in it. Remember, you are capable of changing your life by altering your mindset. Feel free to follow his advice and repeat it daily. Book he mentions contains powerful insights. As you read, focus on changing your thoughts, beliefs, and mental patterns. The mind comes before any external action. Practice this consistently, and you'll experience significant shifts. Bob Proctor's personal journey exemplifies the power of mindset. Despite challenges, he founded numerous companies and positively impacted countless lives. This series introduces the concept of paradigms, which is crucial for success. Paradigms are the lens through which we view life, and changing them leads to profound transformations. So let's dive deeper into this topic. Remember, you're not alone in seeking personal development. Many have faced setbacks despite positive thinking. Paradigm shifts require effort, but they lead to lasting change. Trust the process, and let's explore this together. Let's delve into this fascinating topic. The concept we're discussing is the paradigm shift, which plays a pivotal role in shaping our lives. Paradigms are like the lenses through which we perceive and interpret the world around us. They influence our thoughts, actions, and ultimately our outcomes. Imagine a thermostat in your home. When the weather suddenly turns cold, you set the indoor temperature to 27 degrees Celsius. However, an unexpected disturbance occurs. Your heat-sensitive daughter opens a window, causing the room to cool down. In response, the automatic thermostat kicks into action, striving to maintain the preset 27 degrees. It adjusts the heating or cooling system until the desired temperature is restored. Similarly, consider an airplane's autopilot system. Once the plane takes off, the pilot activates the autopilot, allowing them to step back and oversee the flight. The autopilot ensures the aircraft stays on its designated course. Even if it encounters turbulence or veers off track, it corrects deviations and brings the plane back to its intended path. Now, let's apply this concept to our daily lives. Paradigms govern our routines, habits, and decisions. They determine how we approach weight loss, career advancement, or any other goal. Often, people focus on the fifth of strategies or specific actions without realizing that the remaining 95 lies in shifting their underlying paradigms. Here's the key: paradigm shifts are about changing our fundamental beliefs, perspectives, and mental frameworks. When someone embarks on a weight loss journey, for instance, they might initially shed a few kilograms, but then they encounter challenges to familiar foods they shouldn't eat, the temptation to revert to old habits. These obstacles arise because their existing paradigm resists change. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of paradigms. They seek external solutions, fad diets, exercise regimens without addressing the internal shift required. Yet, those who've truly transformed their lives understand that the mind must change first. Thoughts, mindset, and brain patterns must align with the desired outcome. So how do we make paradigm shifts? Start by recognizing that paradigms are deeply ingrained. They're the sum of all the words we've heard, the experiences we've had, and the habits passed down through generations. To break free, we must consciously replace old paradigms with new ones. Think of it as rewiring your mental circuitry. Just as an airplane's autopilot corrects deviations, we can redirect our lives toward success. Whether it's weight loss, financial growth, or personal development, the process remains the same. Understand the power of paradigms, embrace the shift, and persistently reinforce the new mindset. Remember, you're not alone. Count yourself among the few who recognize the importance of paradigm shifts. As you read, learn, and apply these insights, you'll witness profound changes. And like Bob Proctor, who transformed his life from deterrent to globally influential, you'll realize that success lies in mastering the 95th realm of paradigms. Paradigms, these are deeply ingrained belief systems that influence our thoughts, behaviors, and outcomes. Think of them as invisible barriers that can limit our potential for success and fulfillment. To achieve meaningful change and unlock our true potential, it's crucial to transcend these limiting paradigms, son. Now, let's explore how paradigms relate to success. 1. Understanding paradigms. When you want to make a significant change, whether it's financial success or any other goal, you're not merely trying to alter your external circumstances. You're aiming to change the underlying paradigm, the ideas, beliefs, and habits that shape your reality. Many successful people unknowingly established powerful paradigms that led to their achievements. However, they often couldn't articulate why they succeeded, because they didn't fully understand the concept of paradigms. 2. The 2 ways to change a paradigm. Emotional impact. Sometimes, a significant emotional event, positive or negative, can permanently shift your paradigm. However, these impacts are unpredictable. Repetition. The more reliable way to change a paradigm is through repetition. Expose yourself repeatedly to new ideas that align with your desired goals. The goal is to impress these ideas into your subconscious mind, replacing old patterns. Repetition is essential for learning and adopting new beliefs and habits. It's not about memorizing information, but about creating lasting change. 3. Challenging your paradigm. Imagine you want to lose 30 pounds in a year. Your existing paradigm wants to maintain the status quo. When you start making healthier choices like snacking on carrot sticks, your paradigm fights back with excuses. Eat. 1 piece of bread won't hurt you. Recognize this resistance eats your paradigm at work. To break free from this cycle, identify your type goal. What would you do if there were no limitations? What truly excites you? Dig deep and find your authentic desires. 4. Building self-confidence. True self-confidence comes from believing you can achieve what you genuinely desire. It's not about perfection, it's about embracing your potential. Remember, humans aren't perfect, but our possibilities are. Understand this fully to find genuine self-esteem. 5. Taking action. Once you've identified your authentic goals, take action. Even if you lack resources or face challenges, your desire will fuel your energy. Avoid settling for superficial goals like the accordive example. Instead, aim for the unknown, the truly meaningful. Remember, paradigms can be shifted, and your potential is limitless. Embrace authenticity, challenge your existing beliefs, and take steps toward your unique aspirations. Yes, we always want to express ourselves in various ways. When we suppress that desire, our daily lives become frustrating and unhappy. We yearn for growth, to run faster when we're already running, to jump higher when we're doing the high jump. Our desires push us to express our true selves. Now, let's talk about Bob Proctor. Even during his most challenging times, when he had no money and nowhere to turn, he whispered to himself, "I create companies operating worldwide." His sincerity was genuine, even though he didn't know how to achieve it. The result, he went on to establish companies in 89 countries, launch a TV broadcasting station, and conduct seminars simultaneously in 119 countries. Although he passed away last year, Bob Proctor's teachings continue to inspire. Remember Andrew Carnegie's words, thoughts that are mixed with any feeling of fear or faith begin immediately to translate themselves into their physical equivalent. Fear attracts what we fear. So when you hear this message, you might worry it's too ambitious. But I understand. Many people, regardless of nationality, will say goals must be grounded in reality. Don't aim too high. But that's just the prevailing paradigm, the constant bombardment of reality. Bored reality is almost comical. To engrave your type goal, engage your right brain. Confirm the goal with rich emotions. Visualize it vividly, and imagine the results creatively. Now, for those of you who work in logical fields like law, engineering, or accounting, left-brain thinkers, implementing this can be challenging. Initially, accepting and acknowledging it won't be easy. But here's the interesting part: when logical thinkers commit to it, they excel. Their firmness and certainty lead to success. On the other hand, right-brain thinkers are more fluid. They excel at tapping into emotions and imagination. So leverage that ability. What you haven't fully grasped logically often becomes the biggest obstacle to paradigm change. The noise in your mind, those unacknowledged logical thoughts, hinders progress. Remember Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary conquering Everest. Their achievement couldn't be explained by logic alone. Similarly, when you decide to run a marathon, you don't know exactly how long it'll take to reach peak physical condition. But you know the goal exists. Paradigm shifts follow their own laws. The Wright brothers faced severe criticism from their father. Lifting heavy objects. Just once, say that again, and you'll see hell. Yet they knew the goal existed. Similarly, every great leap in life begins by resisting logic. So, reclaim that thought, the one you've been unable to shake. Why? Because it's your true dream. Even if you think, I can't do it, that mindset must change. Acknowledge your potential, and self-esteem will follow. With self-esteem, you'll find healthy eating, appealing, feel motivated to exercise, and desire mental and physical well-being. Life transforms. Remember, logic doesn't explain paradigm shifts. The noise you heart unacknowledged logical's the key. When you see someone who achieved what you couldn't, don't feel inferior. Instead, recognize that paradigm shift. Why revisit this goal? Because it's your genuine dream. You'll develop self-esteem when you acknowledge your potential. Even if you don't know how right now, believe you can do it. Self-esteem leads to positive changes in your life, unlocking your potential paradigms and change. External circumstances, past difficulties, none of these truly affect you. Whether you've experienced homelessness or accumulated massive debt, it's okay. The key lies in recognizing your own potential. When you do, you'll naturally value yourself more. This is where it all begins. Our parents often say, be content with what you have. But they're mistaken. Even our grandparents say the same. However, true living means pursuing what you genuinely desire, even if it seems illogical to others. In fact, most people around you, about 95, will call your desires unreasonable. But that's precisely what you need to pursue. When I was young, declaring that I'd establish companies worldwide was completely illogical. People would say, why would you want that? But here's the truth. All great success is thoroughly illogical. You must set goals that scare you a little. Tech goals. These goals take you to places you've never been before. Start by drawing a mental picture of what you want. Everything you need will come to you when you need it. It's about aligning frequencies. Remember, growth involves two aspects, material and spiritual. While financial freedom is essential for personal growth, it's not always about money. And unless you're dealing with serious mental health issues, setting goals that seem beyond your imagination is essential. So embrace the possible. If Mary's brief encounter with you made you doubt your abilities, reclaim that thought. Focus on how you perceive yourself. Decide to understand and change your paradigms. Resistance to change doesn't come from within. It's when others try to change you. If you've decided to change, you will. If someone tells you to change, you'll resist. Business owners, for instance, may want their employees to improve and become more productive, but merely giving instructions won't lead to lasting change. Understand paradigms. They're like automatic temperature controllers. To change them, you need to know how they work. People learn through repetition. So internalize new ideas repeatedly. Learning isn't just memorizing, it's about observing changes in results. Lastly, remember that everyone starts from an unfavorable position. Even if you were born into a wealthy family, you might face health challenges or other setbacks. Paradigms allow you to transform your circumstances, regardless of external factors. The key is repetition and internalization. What you think once is fleeting, repetition solidifies it. So immerse yourself in the process. Read, write, and internalize. Your paradigm shift is within reach. And as Bob Proctor once said, if you're reading a book for the third time, someone you know is telling you to move on. But don't. That book will change your life. So keep learning, keep growing, and know yourself. Is there anything you're currently studying? Study your self-paradigms and success. As you delve deeper into understanding yourself, your true thoughts become more profound. At that point, life no longer drags you along. Instead, you become the one leading the way. Consider this when you read the same book twice. It's not about discovering new content within the book. It's about seeing parts of yourself that were previously hidden. Repetition is the key to awakening. If you found a book that can change your life, or an audiobook that resonates with you, listen to it daily. Repetition is how you internalize and transform your desired paradigm, reshaping your life. Now, many of you have probably written down how you want to live, where you want to be, what you want to do, and how much you want to achieve. But here's the crucial step: most people miss repetition. Without repetition, your subconscious won't absorb these ideas fully. It's not just about memorizing. It's about imprinting them into your emotional mind. Remember this: writing down your thoughts isn't enough. You must repeat them to internalize them fully. Don't settle for someone else's paradigm, create your own. Success is 5 strategy and 95 mindset. So aim higher than what you currently have. Act as if you've already lost what you desire. And let your emotions drive you toward it. When others call you crazy, embrace it. They don't know they're unaware of their own ignorance. But living authentically means embracing your uniqueness. It's how you truly love yourself. These actions are rare, which is why only 5 succeed. Countless people have transformed their lives through this process. Those drowning in debt have become successful entrepreneurs. Those on the brink of death, fooled by desperation, achieved 6-figure salaries and drove to meet their mentors in a Benz. Their tears of gratitude weren't miracles. They were the result of consistent mindset work. So when someone thanks me, I say there's nothing to thank me for. Your courage and decisions deserve my genuine respect. It's not easy living authentically as a human being, but you've willingly embraced it. Your impact is already positive. When you truly equip yourself with self-esteem, you'll become a different person, healthier, kinder, and more supportive. You'll inspire others and share your success. Is there a greater influence than that? Unlocking success paradigms and repetition. When you watch this video, don't just finish it and move on. Pause, rewind, and fully digest it. Imagine yourself living a life where, 5 years from now, you look back and think, when did I become this different person? I hope you'll live a life where health and retirement are no longer worries. The key lies right here today. Now, let's address a common question: how do successful people achieve success? Most of them attribute it to luck. But there's more to the story. While effort plays a role, the real secret lies in there. Paradigms, the ingrained belief systems that influence thoughts, behaviors, and outcomes. These paradigms operate beneath the surface, shaping our lives. Here's the truth: luck isn't the main factor. Instead, it's the 5 strategy combined with the 95 success mindset, a paradigm that truly makes a difference. People often assume successful individuals are exceptionally smart, but that's not the case. Even if someone is highly educated, without the right paradigm, they'll struggle. Occasionally, successful people surprise themselves. They achieve more than they thought possible. Why? Because deep within, their subconscious paradigm was already aligned with that level of success. But what if you don't naturally have that paradigm? That's where self-help books come in. Whether through books, seminars, or audiobooks, you can shift your paradigm. Personally, I've immersed myself in thousands of books and audiobooks, replacing music with knowledge during walks and before bed. It's like changing the simulation of reality. What I imagine becomes tangible. Paradigm shifts are crucial. They allow you to understand why life unfolds as it does. Recognizing this is a stroke of luck. Take Bob Proctor, for instance. Despite limited education and financial struggles, he succeeded. Suddenly, he touched significant wealth and felt an unwavering certainty about making money. But then he wondered, why do I occasionally succeed when others struggle? Even when money is tight. He sought answers and discovered that something within us leads the way. It's inside, not external. This profound realization can change your life. So rather than stumbling upon success, actively seek it. Spend just 2 minutes each morning reflecting, what do I truly want to do? If you're tired of your current state, those 2 minutes are nothing. Answer honestly. You must search within yourself. Even if someone claims real estate is the safest path to wealth, it won't matter unless it resonates with you. The key lies within. Remember, understanding how your mind works is the game changer. Invest your time and energy wisely. Those 2 minutes matter more than you realize. So, ask yourself, what do I genuinely desire? Break free from the mundane and seek answers. The next turn is yours, whether you choose the conventional path or explore new possibilities. It's all within you.
Changing paradigms, unlocking success. Bob Proctor often emphasizes the significance of paradigms, deeply ingrained belief systems that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and outcomes. These paradigms act as invisible barriers, limiting our potential for success and fulfillment. To unlock our true potential, we must transcend these limiting paradigms. Consider this when you want to make a significant change, such as earning more money or achieving a goal. You're not merely altering external circumstances. You're actually trying to change the underlying paradigm, the ideas, beliefs, and habits that reside within you. Changing a paradigm isn't easy, especially when it's deeply rooted. Emotional impacts can sometimes shift paradigms, but the most effective method is repetition. Repetition involves exposing yourself to a new idea repeatedly. The goal isn't memorization, it's to impress the idea or image into your subconscious mind until it replaces the old paradigm. Repetition is how we learn and adopt new beliefs and habits. Unfortunately, many people mistakenly believe that memorizing information equates to learning. However, true learning involves consciously entertaining an idea, emotionalizing it, acting on it, and observing a change in results. Now, let's explore why external opinions matter less than how you perceive yourself. As you age, you realize that others' judgments hold little significance. What truly matters is how you view yourself. So focus on your self-image and love for yourself. Imagine the ideal version of you, and then act and speak as if you've already achieved it. This process involves changing your paradigm through repetition. Remember, the results you desire lie beyond the visible horizon. They are the product of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So describe that desired outcome in detail. Repeat it consistently and watch as obstacles dissolve, allowing your life to flow naturally toward your vision. Trust that this process aligns with the universal laws of success. And finally, if it ever feels like you're forcing something, consider whether you're going against your paradigm's law. If you're struggling despite knowing what you want, examine whether you're inadvertently resisting your own progress. Trust the process, even when it feels challenging. Unlocking success paradigms, repetition, and the power of your mind. Bob Proctor often emphasizes the significance of paradigms, deeply ingrained belief systems that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and outcomes. These paradigms act as invisible barriers, limiting our potential for success and fulfillment. To unlock our true potential, we must transcend these limiting paradigms. Consider this when you want to make a significant change, whether it's earning more money or achieving a goal. You're not just trying to alter external circumstances. You're attempting to change the underlying paradigm, the ideas, beliefs, and habits you hold about those concepts. And here's the key: you can't change your paradigm with sheer willpower alone. Understanding these 2 points is crucial for your journey. The 2 ways to change a paradigm: emotional impact and repetition. 1. Emotional impact. Sometimes a significant emotional event hits you so hard that your life is forever transformed. It could be positive or negative, but these impacts are unpredictable. Therefore, I recommend the second method. 2. Repetition. Expose yourself to a new idea repeatedly. The goal isn't memorization, it's to impress the idea or image into your subconscious mind until it replaces the old paradigm. Repetition is how we learn and adopt new beliefs and habits. Learning this, gathering information. Our paradigm tricks us into thinking that memorizing information equals learning. Not true. Learning involves 1. Consciously entertaining an idea easy enough you entertain your goal. 2. Emotionalizing the idea. This part is challenging because your deeply rooted paradigm resists change. 3. Acting on the idea. Your paradigm fights back when you start making changes. Keep dating. 4. Observing a change in results. This is true learning. Changing paradigms and achieving goals. Suppose your goal is to lose 30 pounds in a year. Your paradigm wants to maintain the status quo. When you snack on carrot sticks and hit the gym, it fights back with excuses. But if you persist, the paradigm shifts and the weight loss becomes natural. Law of vibration, aligning frequencies. Think of yourself as a radio. Tune into the right frequency, your desired outcome, and everything flows effortlessly. If you're on the wrong frequency, nothing works. Napoleon Hill said, "You can have anything you desire if you align your frequency with it." Understand this law, it's essential. You control your paradigm. External events don't dominate you, your paradigm does. Make conscious decisions. Fitness center managers know that people fail to change because they don't shift their paradigms. Understand that your body is a tool and your thoughts influence it. Change your paradigm and you'll maintain a healthy lifestyle, wealth, success and paradigms. Remember, ability comes with desire. Align your frequency with your desired values. External circumstances don't matter as much as your self-awareness. You're a remarkable being, know that. Change your paradigm and you'll meet a different world. And finally, embrace learning. Even if you're not a student, listen to the polarity principle. Everything has an opposite. Left and right, hot and cold, up and down. Now, extend your left hand and then your right. Feel the difference. That's the essence of paradigms. On the left hand, let's call it ignorance. And on the right hand, we'll call it knowledge. Ignorance can be the source of doubt and worry. When doubt and worry arise, fear vibrates within us. This fear tends to manifest outwardly, resulting in an anxious state. In other words, anxiety is the expression of fear stemming from doubt, and worry, which originate from ignorance. On the contrary, the right hand represents knowledge. Knowing something well implies trust. Trust allows us to dispel fear. This trust is expressed through a positive demeanor, reflecting a state of well-being. So understanding involves studying. If there's something causing anxiety, study it to gain understanding, which leads to confidence and better living. Are you uncertain about the path you're taking? Do you doubt your ability to achieve what you truly desire? In that case, study yourself. You are the main subject of your uncertainty. Dive deep into self-understanding. It's surprisingly simple. Emotions like fear, anxiety, and doubt arise because we lack knowledge. So study yourself, your doubts and fears. Is there something you're afraid of? Study that too. It's straightforward but often neglected. Why? Perhaps because we lack a clear purpose. Schools don't teach us this. You must seek it out. What do you want? What's your purpose? To achieve it, set specific goals and determine what knowledge you need. Bob Proctor, before his success, wrote down $1 million on a piece of paper during a flight. At the time, he was in debt and had no idea how to earn that amount. But by observing successful people, he realized they didn't rely on a single income source. He learned and studied. Gradually, he gained confidence and became someone who could earn substantial money. Keep learning. As philosopher Eric Hoffer said, in times of change, learners inherit the earth. But remember, it's not just about learning, it's about understanding. Don't neglect self-awareness. You're unique, and your understanding matters. As we near the end of this video, if even one person's life changes even one, it's worth it. I could create a 2 or 3 hour video if needed. My heartfelt message to all who've listened this far: comfort is poison, discomfort is medicine. Pursue the uncomfortable, and you'll reach places you've never been. Embrace the growth. Remember, you're not born for mediocrity. You desire more experiences, wealth, and fulfillment. It's natural. So keep learning and don't fear discomfort. It's a sign of progress. You're doing great. Welcome this constructive complaint with open arms. Go ahead, recognizing that a comfortable state is actually a familiar state. Move forward in any direction you want without any obstacles. Imagine from the result. Before Hillary became the first person in the world to climb Everest, he didn't know how he would overcome the point where others hit their limits and died during the climbing process. Shocking, right? He really didn't know, but there was one thing he constantly imagined himself: standing on the top of Everest. Imagining from the result is the beginning of all success. If you have tried countless times to change yourself because you didn't like your own image so far, now try to cherish yourself, because your life to live the life you really want is too precious. That's the real life and your life. If you keep doing something for 90 days, it means you can keep doing it for the rest of your life. And today, let's find out exactly what to do for those 90 days to change your life. Let's finish it. Let's take a look at the 3 rules for creating a new paradigm. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 last week, please check the pinned comment after watching today's video. You will be able to check the videos of parts 1 and 2. Today is a really concrete methodology, so I strongly recommend you to write a declaration following the video in the evening. Let's get right to the point. There are 3 rules for creating a new paradigm. The first is decision. The second is understanding visualization. The third is discipline. Through this process, you set who you will be, imagine, and then act to be born anew as a person who just naturally achieves this type goal. This type goal means a goal that you really sincerely want, but you don't know how to get there.
First of all, as the first task, you will go through the process of deciding who you will be. In the process of going to this type goal, we have to decide who we will be at each stage. Let's say we have a lined notebook in front of us. Draw a circle on the bottom line on the left, and right there now. That point is where you are now. And go up exactly 7 lines, and put a star a little more to the right. Right there that you have achieved this type goal. We will go through 7 stages to get there. These 7 stages are arbitrarily set by me. You can decide how many stages you will go through, and put a star on the line as much as that stage. If you are going to go through 5 stages, put a star on the right 5 lines above. But once you have to write to see how many stages you will go through, please note that. I will go through 7 stages for now. There are 7 lines between where you are now and this type goal above. These 7 lines are the decisions we have to make. What does that mean? At each stage, you write who you will be. And as you decide who you will be at each stage, you go up 1 line at a time. We decided to go through 7 stages, so we will become 7 different people to reach this type goal. This is gradual change. Why do you have to do this? Gate of Germany says, before you can do something, you have to be something. Yes, you don't write what you will do at each stage. You write who you will be at each stage. The only problem for you is not lack of talent, but lack of name. Remember that. Then how do you write these 7 stages of me? Write it in a sentence. For example, I am now doing something, and I am happy and grateful. You write this sentence a total of 7 times at each stage. In other words, you write a present life scenario at each stage. To write this scenario, you have to think that you are living there. When each goal is achieved, this is not easy. You have to try it once to know. You don't know if it's going to be rice or rice without trying. It doesn't cost a penny. Please try this today, taking 10 minutes off Netflix watching time. Write a life scenario at each stage, describing in detail what you think and how you live when you achieve your goal. The really important thing here is that no matter what stage, don't imitate others. Just write your own image. Emerson said this with self-confidence. In the learning process, jealousy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. The moment you reach the conviction that you have to accept yourself as you are, good or bad, will come to anyone. Accept yourself as you are and write a life scenario. It's not easy. Everything is good, but it's really hard to find what you really want. There are a lot of subscribers who say that. But this is your share. Especially in part 2, you have to dig into yourself. I told you to wake up yourself with a really desperate heart. Think about it, you guys. The first thing you want to eat because others have it, and you're jealous of it. That's the first life you want to eat. I can guide you up to here, but from then on, you have to keep digging. So I'm jealous of that. But why do I do that to not be jealous anymore? What do I want to be? If you receive it like this, it will come out with the determination to live as the real me. Who found that fluttering image? You have to make a decision. It's not over just by finding it. You have to sincerely decide to live that life, and then the process of the 7 stages. You also have to make a decision while fulfilling each process. So this task is actually not an easy task at all. In the process of doing this, your inner self, more precisely, your consciousness might say something like this: you really think you're that kind of person? But why does your consciousness say such things? Because you've heard it while doing well so far. You've heard it from your parents, siblings, teachers, friends, and acquaintances, because you've heard such words continuously. You've come to believe it as a fact. So if you keep hearing such words from within while writing this, you're not yet ready to reach your goal. As I told you through 119, you should have made a decision to ignore what others say first. You should know the fact that other people's opinions are the cheapest goods on earth. Why is it the cheapest goods? Those who give you such negative and cynical words have thought about what you want, the life you want to live. overwhelmingly less than you. They are not interested, and they are not the ones who have actually achieved it. They have never lost, never experienced, and have thought much less than you. They just say that it won't work because it's like this. It's originally like this. Don't you know the world? Don't you know people should be realistic and so on? And more than anything, people who fail take a long time to make a decision, while they often quickly reverse their decisions. Successful people are the opposite. It is habitual to make decisions immediately, and when changing decisions, they think carefully for a long time. Where does this difference come from? Because they know the result. For example, let's say you, who were working in an ordinary company in Korea, drew a picture of wanting to live happily as a fashion designer in France, and its tight goal. The life scenario that you have to build in this process is very clear, isn't it? The first step is to become a person who speaks French. In the next step, you should become a person who does something, because you know the result. You know what to do and you can make decisions quickly. This is the process that you also have to go through. Once you have decided who you will be at each stage to achieve this tight goal with your decision, you now need to find a helper that matches it. Here, 3 types of helpers are needed. First, create a responsible helper who responds with infinite agreement to my goal. Tell that person that you want to do this. Get that person's infinite agreement. In this way, you make an irrevocable promise to this responsible helper, and you really try harder to keep that promise yourself. And this person must be a person who really unconditionally believes in you. And you need to find a helper who will teach you the skills to move forward as that person at each stage. This helper helps you to fully become that person. Most certain way to develop is to be willing to be with people who are better than me. At each stage, have a person who can maximize yourself by your side, and exactly the opposite. Keep away from people who give you stress. Finally, you need a helper who can do what you can't do instead. Then here, you need to know what you can't do well. It's okay if you can't do well. You don't need to do everything well. If you have found a few things that you can never do well, have someone else do that job. Instead, you try harder to do what you do better. You need to use the abilities of others. This is really necessary. The human brain is a battery. A bunch of batteries gives off more energy than one battery. Remember that when several people put their heads together, they can think much wider than when they use their heads alone. Now let's talk about the second, visualization. Visualization is familiar to you because I've told you about 500 times in my video, but if I give you a brief fact bombing, you know what visualization is, how to do it, and what effects it has, but you don't do it well. Just when you think of it, you try a little bit and then stop. There are many people like this. Listen, you guys. What's important in imagination is not how you think, but how you feel. We act as we feel, and we imagine to find this feeling. This is why we visualize, to find the feeling we imagine. So, even if it's a bit uncomfortable, you have to repeat and repeat the imagination that starts from the result, not towards the result. You have to empathize emotionally with this uncomfortable goal. If you repeat anything, it eventually feels comfortable. It's the same as driving. Shall I tell you a little more in detail? The feeling obtained from imagination comes first, and action comes next. If there is no feeling, there is no action. We can only act rationally and logically after we have emotions. All our actions follow our emotions, and the amount of action is proportional to the emotion, that is, energy. Let me borrow a word from Grant Cardone for a moment. According to him, a person's amount of action is classified into 4 items. 1. Do nothing. 2. Back off. 3. Act at a normal level. 4. Act at an enormous level towards the result. Even after thinking, imagining, and writing all the processes, there are many people who do nothing, back off, or act at a normal level. 1. Doing nothing. In the end, you've given up and become a greenhorn. This state seems like it wouldn't require any energy, right? But that's not the case. When you do nothing, you spend time and energy justifying this situation due to boredom, lethargy, and lack of purpose. It's painful because you're expending energy in a strange direction, thinking it would be comfortable. If you're in this state, you need to quickly become aware and escape, and redirect that energy towards actions aligned with your results. In this case, you may have lost your strength because the goal you originally set was not your goal. Check your goals again. 2. The person who is backpedaling. Even if you're doing well, you end up backpedaling due to rejection and failure and assigning meaning to yourself. Where does their energy go? They spend unnecessary energy and time justifying the reason why they backpedaled. If you're currently pouring a lot of energy into justifying why you backpedaled. Redirect that energy. 3 people who act at an average level. These are people who throw away this type goal and return to an average life. The biggest risk in an average life is uncertainty. So now what happens is, when economic indicators worsen, i.e., a recession comes and real estate and stock prices fall, the status, married life, and asset level that were comfortably locked up all suffer a huge blow. They spend all sorts of energy worrying about uncertainty, and they commit the folly of not unleashing their true potential, while spending all their energy there. Grant Cardone says that acting at an average level, settling for average, is actually the most dangerous among dangerous things, or the type that imagines the result and acts at an incredible level. This type may be unbelievable, but it's the most natural state for all of us. It's a state where you have no interest in anything other than acting incredibly. Even if you take a moment to rest, you have no time to worry about unnecessary things because you're constantly running towards your goal. Everything that makes up the universe vibrates. Nothing is still. Even under the sea, even under the surface, we step on. Constant activity continues. We are the same. We must act vigorously. Depending on these 4 states, energy eventually goes in different directions. So now you should have a sense of which type to choose. So you have to try once until you hear the words. Are you really crazy? That's why you need to do it. When you act incredibly led by your emotions, there's really no time like this moment. You just have to do it without calculating how much time you have to devote. When you start acting at this 4th level, your mindset changes and your life also grows and changes completely. When you act incredibly, you will seize opportunities earlier than when you let go of the ordinary me. And this incredible action motivates and resolves a lot, not just habitually, but just naturally. Yes, you guys. And now you have to keep your own education. The 3rd rule for equipping a new paradigm is about discipline. This may sound like something great because it's a rule, but if you think of it as a promise to yourself that I don't know anything else, but I will definitely keep this, it will resonate much more. After all, the core of all success is to develop self-discipline. So far, we have not kept our own rules, and there have been many people who did not even have rules. They just live as they go, or they don't live as they think, but they live as they think. But now it's different. You have to give yourself an order to move, as I said. This discipline is the action, that is, the habit we mentioned earlier. We wrote in 7 stages who I will be, in the process of reaching this type goal, and we found the helper. Then now we need a habit that fits it. We will develop this habit for 90 days. And after 90 days, we will become a person who acts at an incredible level. First of all, decide what you must do every day to become someone in 7 stages. Just be sure to decide what you have to achieve, and write this habit in the declaration of each stage we wrote earlier. And change the word. Change I have to I achieve. And this is really important. When you start this habit, start with something ridiculously trivial. Of course, it will explode later, but the initial start is from something ridiculous. For example, change I achieve reading a book before going to bed every night to I achieve reading 1 page of a book before going to bed every night. Change I achieve fluency in English too. I achieve reading 2 pages of an English book out loud every day, and use the 2-minute rule. Starting a new habit in less than 2 minutes is really effective in forming a habit, even if it's only 2 minutes. It plays a really big role in establishing a new identity paradigm. Trust me and try it once. Just try it for a day. I hope you feel what it feels like and what it feels like. Don't worry about making a body shape. After all, focus on becoming a person who doesn't miss exercise. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed by the ultimate goal of this small habit. This habit should be used to change the paradigm according to who we are going to be. If you give it too much meaning, you will give up. Once again, you must first decide who you are going to be, and then use this habit as a material to make and create the Change Me in 7 stages. Don't bother planting a tree right away without the whole picture. Don't get buried in small habits, but first arrange the trees after the whole forest and repeat this process for only 90 days. Don't do it for 91 days. It's 90 days. If you do something for 90 days, you can continue that work for the rest of your life, and so you live a life that exactly corresponds to the life you proposed yourself. It's a life where I ask, I command, I respond, and I show by action. If you go through this process for 91 days, your life will change. Your life changes. In a way, a person is better off being a curious self than a smart perfectionist. Having motivation and curiosity is more important than just being smart. Why? Because this curiosity leads to action. Being smart itself does not produce results. The action is driven by desire, not intelligence. Please get rid of the most fixed idea that smart people say that you have to be smart. That you are not smart, so you can't. And as you repeat actions and experiences, get rid of the emotion of hope. You might wonder what this means. Hope is, for example, the fluttering heart you have for a moment before you actually do something like a magic weight loss program. So, a new plan that you have not yet experienced will provide you with hope. But this is an emotion that can come out before action. When you act, your hope decreases, and now that place is replaced by acceptance, that is, acceptance. Not a vague hope, but your type goal must be a matter of course. In other words, if you are only excited about the goal, it means that you are not acting properly now. When you actually act according to the goal and constantly face uncomfortable situations, hope breaks and becomes onion. You have to go through this process quickly. And finally, those uncomfortable situations don't feel so uncomfortable. And ultimately, the attitude that it's originally like this takes hold. And you become the person who achieves this type goal. As a result, your success is not a journey of coincidence, but a clear and natural revelation as a result that you are responsible for and control. That's how you succeed. It's a very natural result, and it's what you made. In the last part 4, we will have a final discussion about the essence of how to live, and what attitude to live in life. Please do not leave the vast land of your mind, which is a worn of habit and rotten thought, to be devastated. So we start with thought and move on to the physical dimension. Don't let your body go first. Now, let's completely change the way we look at things and the world. So secondly, decide how much to earn yourself. Just by living a life that responds, not reacts, you can live a life where you decide how much you can earn. So far, we have lived a passive life where other people decide how much I can earn. But no, you need to know that the ability to earn money is definitely a paradigm problem. It's not just about asking for a lot of money. There is a law of compensation in the world. We'll look at this in more detail later. And thirdly, it's important to know how to use time. Another area of life that changes as a result of paradigm shift is the utilization of time. For some, a day is longer, and for others, it's shorter, which is a paradigm problem. We need to compress time. In relation to this, I made a concept of time compression and uploaded a video. It's hard to talk about time compression in today's video, so I'll just say it briefly. A compressed file has more files in the same capacity, right? It's the same. You do more things in the same time. Decide how much to earn and compress time to gain economic freedom. You should want economic freedom. If you no longer need to think about money, you can't imagine how much freedom you can enjoy. Now you have to get out of the prison where you are not free. because your mind is all mortgaged there to think about how to repay the loan every day. Many people feel responsible for others, but in fact, we are not responsible for anyone. I am responsible for myself. Let me say it again. I am responsible for myself. It's about having a sense of responsibility for children. Not being responsible for children's lives, whether I enjoy freedom or not, is a very personal matter. This freedom is not just about playing and eating. The concept is too big to be expressed simply by the word freedom. Living as I am, this is freedom. And you can enjoy it when you are not bound by money. So anyone can achieve economic freedom in a relatively short time. You really have to know this. And at the base of this is a new paradigm. Now let's talk about how to deal with the mind in a slightly larger dimension. Take a look at the road in your mind. If you fold a stiff piece of paper horizontally or vertically in a certain way, and then unfold and fold the paper again, the paper will fold exactly along the folded line. Our mind is the same. Once it is tamed, it operates in the tamed way afterwards. So you have to put the right path in it. In this sense, our habit can be said to be a highway leading to success. But if you look at the sayings about habits, they emphasize only the negative aspects of habits. People make it look like a slave of habit, being dragged around by a huge shower of habit. From today, it's different. You need to know that habit is something you control. You can control and utilize it at will. So tame your habits. Don't let worn-out habits and rotten thoughts devastate the vast land of your mind. Napoleon Hill said that a habit is a field of mind, where action lingers and passes. So if people keep passing by, the ground will be hardened and deepened, and it will gradually widen. So later, it becomes a real road. You are now starting to cultivate the land to make a new road in your mind. Really, anything is hard at first, but as the rounds go on, it will gradually become easier. If you're going to make it, clean up the obstacles around you and make the new road deep and clear. Make it deep and clear so that you can find that road anytime. If you look around, there are always people who are really smart, have excellent summons, are diligent and sincere, but strangely, they can't achieve their goals and live a mediocre life. There's just one thing missing: the tenacity to bite and stretch. If you have decided to make a new road in your mind, you have to do so. At this moment, you really have to do it. To maintain this tenacity continuously, you need confidence. After all, you give up because you lack confidence. Confidence is not about being flamboyant and aggressive as others see it. It means a very strong mental muscle of believing in myself and going. Napoleon Hill analyzed very meticulously how people who have succeeded overwhelmingly worldwide, even overwhelmingly, have such strong confidence and picked out their common characteristics. Among them, today I will talk about the law of compensation and the golden rule. Regardless of money or position, the most important philosophy of life, attitude, please listen carefully. First, let's take a look at the law of compensation. There was a bank employee. He, who had lived in despair about his situation, could not resist the temptation of a bundle of money in front of him and stole the money and fled. He wandered around the world as a fugitive for 18 years. While living a life of escape, he was completely exhausted and lived in a worse condition than 18 years ago when he had no money. Finally, when the traces of youth disappeared and his strength was waning day by day, he gave up running away anymore. He returned to his hometown and went to the local security guard and said, "I am Bill Jones from 18 years ago." The security guard said indifferently, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Jones." He was speechless. "What is this?" he said to the security guard again. "It seems like you don't understand correctly. I am the criminal you guys have been chasing for so long. I am the criminal who stole $3,000 from the bank 18 years ago." Then the security guard replied, "Sir, we have never chased such a person." Even after searching all the wanted files, there was no case record about Bill Jones. And after a few questions, the situation became clear. At that time, the bank where Jones caused the problem had tightly sealed the employee embezzlement case so that it would not be known to the outside. This old-faced wanderer did not know this fact and wandered around the world as a fugitive for 18 years. He felt like he was going to collapse for a moment and asked if he could sit for a while, and then he fell into thought for a long time. The security guard looked at him with worried eyes. In the eyes of the security guard, he looked like a person who could not get out of a deep and terrible mystery, struggling with a desperate problem. That's how he punished himself. According to the law of compensation, he lived his life that way. No one else knew, but this man, Bill Jones, knew himself. The opposite case is exactly the same. You have achieved what you wanted. That's success, but no one knows. But what does it matter? According to the law of compensation, you can live happily every day, enjoying the life you wanted. Why is there such a thing? When someone proposes something bad to you and says, "What's the matter? No one knows. I know everything." I think this answer is the best explanation of the law of compensation. And this law of compensation does not discriminate against people. Whether you use this law favorably or unfavorably is your freedom. Above all, this law is an immutable truth as much as the law of gravity. When you sincerely realize this law, you can become a mature person. The human mind is very fertile, so once a seed is sown in that land, it will inevitably grow crops that match the traits of the seed. And we sow the seeds of our mind every day, every hour, every minute, every second, without knowing it. Without planning, randomly, unconsciously, just sowing any seeds. But now you can't do that. You have to be a farmer who sows seeds, according to a prepared plan and a detailed blueprint. If you sow any seeds without a plan of mind and expect a proper work, you are violating the law of reaping what you sow. Even a solid person falls. A person who has fallen flies again. The starting point is one place, the mind. It's only a matter of time before the image of imagination becomes reality. So what is the golden rule? Napoleon Hill was completely captivated by the concept of the golden rule. When he met a scientist one day, the scientist said there can never be a panacea for all known diseases in the world. However, if various cell groups that make up the body maintain perfect harmony and cooperate and continue their original functions, they can maintain a truly perfect health condition. This content was really interesting to him. The claim that there is no panacea for all known diseases in the world, and the completely opposite claim that if the cells that make up the body maintain perfect harmony, they can be perfectly healthy. He had to somehow connect these claims. He said, "I imagined in my head that all the people in the world gathered together and formed a perfect human figure. The whole lump of people crowded together looks like a giant human from a distance, and we individuals can be said to be one cell. So these cells must cooperate harmoniously and maintain balance. Wanting to receive a day's pay for only half a day's work is a violation of the golden rule. Only thinking about oneself and forgetting one's duty to others also violates the golden rule. Taking only what others give and not compensating appropriately also violates this law. Check your own golden rule. Are you just throwing away a life that shows your true self? Are you turning away from the life you really have to live because of the excuses you have? So is there an imbalance in you and you are living a life that is not harmonious? You are now in front of an important door. If you open this door, you can be any person you want. You have the key. So write and say your central goal 100 times. speaking out loud means that the vocal cord muscles are moving, and the physical activity of realizing thought has begun. Writing means that the muscles in the hand are moving, and the process of transitioning the thought to physical reality has begun. In the wide world, only one person, no matter what situation, does not spare effort for your happiness and does his best to help you become economically very rich. It's you yourself. No one else can replace it. In the past, I also started with writing and shouting 100 times. Although I didn't have anything physically at that time, I didn't think I didn't have it, and it was really the beginning, and that was all. Because the things I shouted out loud and shouted at that time have now become my daily life, and I will continue to make and talk about the things I talked about in this series of work. If there is even one person who can change their life, if I can help even 1 or 0.1, I will really do that. I hope you don't suffer at least with money. And if one day without my voice is fun for you, if the second day is fun, if you feel that this is freedom by setting all the 6 principles of life with your own hands, then you should be independent from this channel. Instead, I hope you use your energy in a more valuable place. The people around you who you cherish, many people who are having a hard time now, the growing generation, those who hope for a change in life. Use your insight and energy in a more valuable place so that they can gain strength. I hope you remember this fierce moment with me and laugh later. The only wish I have for you is that you fully enjoy the things you should naturally enjoy, that you fully enjoy them.